world. NATO members have agreed to increase the supply of weapons to Ukraine amid expectations that Russia is preparing a major military assault in the eastern Donbass region. Foreign Minister Maurice Payne joined NATO foreign ministers in Brussels overnight to discuss what further action the West is willing to take to support Ukraine. Correspondent Anne Barker spoke with NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg following the talks.
Secretary General, Ukraine has said its most urgent need right now is immediate weapons support. What military or other assistance have NATO members agreed on in Brussels?
The clear message from the NATO foreign ministers, but also in a meeting with the Australian foreign minister, was the need to provide more and further support to Ukraine, because we are supporting Ukraine in their right to self-defense, which is actually enshrined in the UN Charter, and it is important that we support them to help them to fight back and stand up against the brutal Russian invasion.
Do you accept the scale of the fighting means that any weapon support needs to be given within days and not weeks?
But the Allies have provided a lot of support. They continue to do so as we speak, and they are planning to deliver more. So this is a process which has been taking place over a long period of time and building on what NATO allies started to do after the first Russian invasion of Ukraine back in 2014, and then adding and building on that since the last invasion in February.
Australia's Foreign Minister has been in Brussels today. Is there anything more Australia could do?
Australia has supported Ukraine in a very clear and strong way, and we welcome that. Of course, Australia has been part of the international condemnation of the illegal and brutal invasion of Ukraine. Australia has imposed heavy sanctions together with NATO allies. Australia has provided and is providing some military assistance to Ukraine, and then Australia has also, as many other allies, NATO allies, expelled Russian operatives. So on all these areas, of course, we need to continue to work together and see what more we can do.
Ukraine's foreign minister has said in Brussels today that sanctions can inflict damage on Russia, but they won't stop the war. Do you agree with that?
Well, sanctions are important because they ensure that there is a severe cost on Russia for conducting this horrific and senseless war against Ukraine. But NATO has also another responsibility, and that is to prevent escalation, to prevent this conflict in Ukraine, which is brutal and horrific, to expand beyond Ukraine and become a full-fledged war between NATO and Russia. That will cause even more damage, even more death and destruction. So therefore, yes, we are providing support to Ukraine, but no, NATO allies and NATO will not go in directly in the conflict with boots on the ground or with NATO planes in the air. So we support Ukraine, but we will not be directly involved in the conflict.
Can Russia and Vladimir Putin be charged with war crimes, do you think?
What we have seen from Bucha and other places in Ukraine is horrific and extremely bad. That's also the reason why NATO allies have called on an international investigation, and why we actually welcome that the International Criminal Court and other international bodies are now looking into it. So we need to establish all the facts, and we need to make sure that those responsible are held accountable.
NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg speaking to Anne Barker. Now, the